Compassion for Lives addresses career readiness and adverse community environmental factors in our communities. Carla Button and Vanessa Smith join me now in the KSLA Cafe to give us more context to this 13-week study that they are going to do and what they hope to accomplish with it. Well, thank you both for being here today, talking about a very serious topic, obviously, today. Let's go ahead and talk about the adverse community environmental factors, and let's hear why you guys are specifically doing this study.
Well, what I'm doing is we found here, we focus on those incarcerated and those in the community that are low income, disadvantaged, underserved. And what we found is there's a strain. We did those 5 root cause symposiums across the city from 2022, 2023. And from that, we got data. And the data became saturated. And the factors happen to be adverse community factors. So we found that there was a strain there, and we wanted to be able to help with those adverse community factors. And so those stressors led to, and Vanessa can tell you a little bit more about the factors in detail.
Yes, so you guys got the data, and this data is showing what, and what are we doing with the data?
What we're doing with the data is trying to address it, because a lot of times you hear people say ACEs and they're talking about adverse childhood experiences. But in actuality, our ACEs are adverse community environmental factors, such as poverty, lack of education, lack of housing instability, lack of employability, economic opportunities. It just is like a conundrum of everything that goes on in our communities. And what we've learned is people suffer from those situations, and it causes chronic problems such as mental illness or even chronic health conditions, because like we talked about, stress leads to high blood pressure, which can lead to diabetes. So we just want to address those big issues within our community. Education is a big thing. Like, we know Louisiana has the 3rd highest dropout rate in the country. Housing is a very difficult situation.
Oh, yeah.
We have people who are incarcerated. Once they get out, they cannot find housing. We have people with eviction notices that can't find housing. I don't have a big enough credit history to have housing. So housing is an issue.
Yeah.
Poverty
And
is an
think
issue.
about these 3 apartment complexes right now and the struggle to get these people out. Just exactly what you guys are both talking about today is that cycle.
Right. And it's a very difficult cycle for people to get out of. And we want to make people aware of, like, we know what the issue is. Now our thing is we want to come to a resolution on how to make our community better, to cut down on crime and address these issues.
And you're going to be talking about this over 13 weeks, and we are going to be following back up with you guys, because I want to know more information about what are we doing with this data, what do we hope for it to go into, what are some of those solutions to the problems that we're dealing with, and what do we do with it? Right now, if you guys have gathered this massive amount of data, what do we do with it?
Right, that's where we are. We talk about resolutions all the time, but we're more solution-based. We want to find a solution to the problem, because those root cause symposiums, like I explained, we pulled the data from there. The data was saturated, same kind of answers. So that's when Vanessa found, the adverse community factors, and that's what it was. The city of Shreveport, we're seeing from this study, is it results in the adversity. And I'm not sure, we've spoken to, I think, Chamber is also already did a strategic plan, the Greater Chamber, and I think they're going to be working that solution. So we hope to see this solution be put in place and implemented.
Now, when you're implementing this in the local area, what are those first steps?
The first step is the community. We're Compassion for Lives. We can service so many people. It will take everyone in this community to understand the adversity. Like she just explained the adversity to you. If we understand that's a realization. First of all, it's like any other mental health issue. You have a realization, and then you have resolutions and then solutions. So it's going to take the community, Priscilla, to come together to beat this adversity.
Time and time again, I've heard it over and over again as I've covered 1 year now worth of mental health stories. And yes, I keep hearing that it's everybody's problem. It's not just Vanessa's problem. It's not just my problem, regardless if I live, in Bossier or Shreveport. It's everybody's problem. And there's a reason why we should all get involved. Thank you so much, Carla and Vanessa, for being here today. I know I'm going to have you back later at the end of the month, and we'll be discussing round 2 of where to go from here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
you for having us.